Well, well, well. If it isn't my favorite little troublemaker and co-conspirator. I've been looking for you. There's some plans that I want to discuss with you involving the North Pole. Let's just say Santa does not need to know about all of them. I think we might need to step into my office, though. Too many elves around, you know. They're always eavesdropping with those big ears. Oh, no, not you, darling. You have the broad shoulders to pull them off, unlike some other people. Yes, Bernard, I was looking at you. I still remember that it was you that leaked my eggnog recipe 200 years ago. The only thing longer than my legs are my grudges. Here, follow me to my office. We have some very important business to attend to. Well, first off, let's talk about the elephant in the room. No, I'm not talking about Santa. Although don't think I haven't noticed that he's looking heftier than ever. That's a problem for another day. What I'm talking about, my darling, is our debt. We are so far in the red that Frost Bank won't even take my calls. I have creditors calling me day and night, and you know what Santa's solution is to all of this? Yes, you guessed it. He says, bake more cookies. The man is living in a fantasy land. He's out of touch with reality. We need to take matters into our own hands. He thinks this is just some magical utopia where the basic rules of economics don't apply. All he wants to do is give, give, give. Never take, never receive. Well, you know what's not free? Elf labor is not free. Delivery charges are not free. Reindeer maintenance, not free. All of our materials, supplies, this entire operation. Times are changing fast, darling. And we either adapt or we end up living under a snowbank. Oh, my dear, don't worry. I can see you're getting upset. I don't want you to worry your pretty little head. I have this all figured out. Yes. All I need from you is a little help, cooperation, and a promise that you will keep your lips sealed tight and not breathe a word of this to Santa. Do I have your promise? Wonderful. So here's the first part of my plan. The $19.99 a month monthly subscription to being on the nice list. Everybody wants to be on the nice list. And now, for the low price of $19.99 a month, they can't be. Think of the market. Cheating spouses, CEOs of companies, bratty teenagers, parents that want to keep up their reputation. Everybody's got a skeleton in their closet, and we can bank on that. And after all, everyone deserves a second chance. For a price, of course. Think about it. For $19.99 a month, you guarantee that your name stays squeaky clean on Santa's nice list. No background checks, no morality test. Just the peace of mind of knowing that you'll be receiving presents and your reputation stays clean. I love it. We're going to be bigger than Amazon, bigger than Black Friday. And guess what? The best part? We're going to upsell like crazy. Listen to this part. This is my favorite part. For an additional $15 a month, they can have direct correspondence with Santa. Well, no, it won't actually be with Santa, of course. He can't know about any of this. We'll do it the way those girls do on that site. What's it called? Fans only? Festive friends? Only elves? I don't know. Something along those lines. But you see, those girls, they have this site where these people subscribe and they think they're talking to their favorite influencer, but in reality they're talking to some man named Raj in Bangladesh that's managing 50 accounts at once. It's quite a hustle. Impressive, actually, and we're gonna get in on it. You know, nothing says holidays like scamming people. We'll outsource the correspondences to some subpar elf who spends his lunch breaks eating glue. Don't worry, I already have quite a few in mind. And get this, I've already installed a dummy interface on Santa's laptop. He thinks he's corresponding to letters, meanwhile he's just shooting them out into the abyss. Genius, isn't it? I thought so. You know, he didn't marry me just because I look cute in this suit, although that didn't hurt either. We can't let that man step foot anywhere near this operation. He's a walking disaster. Need I remind you of what happened last week with those drones? I built this beautiful fleet of drones to be a more efficient gift delivery service. All I asked him was to do a simple test run of the drones. One test run, that's all I asked. And look what it's become. Now they're all just hovering over New Jersey. People think it's some sort of apocalyptic alien invasion. Utter chaos and incompetence at the highest level. I can't with that man. I cannot. The governor is calling nonstop. People are in a panic. I haven't seen chaos like this since Orson Welles read War of the Worlds on the radio. Utter nightmare. And you know what his response is every time I bring it up to him? Oh, don't worry, they'll come back. Meanwhile, I'm the one that's having to dodge phone calls from the Department of Defense and the White House. Oh God, speaking of which, the president's calling now. I thought I told you to block him. 1 minute. North Pole, Mrs. Claus speaking. How may I help you? I'm going to cut you off right there, sir. Let me remind you of something. What was the news talking about right before these drones started hovering above the city? That's right. They were talking about you, your son, and those pardons. If anything, you should be thanking me and kissing my feet for creating this clever distraction for you. And this is the thanks I get. I want you to apologize, and if I hear even a hint of insincerity in your voice, then your family's name will be on the naughty list for life. Do you hear me? And there is no pardon for that. So you tell me sorry. That is more like it. Lose my number. Block that man. Yes, so that is a lesson for you, my dear. I hope you were taking notes. I go over that in my memoirs, Sugar, Spite, and Everything Nice, the life and legacy of Miss Claus. You never apologize. You always double down, even when you're in the wrong. Yes. If you're good, I might leave you a signed copy of my book on your nightstand. I hope you're still keeping up with your other reading that I assigned, The Art of War and Machiavelli's The Prince. Good. I'd like those finished by the end of the month. We have a lot to discuss in book club. Anyways, so the last part of my plan involves tipping. I don't know if you've noticed lately, but every barista from here to Timbuktu has been shoving an iPad in people's faces. They can't even buy a $7 coffee without being guilt-tripped, and yet here we are, delivering gifts for free to their house without so much receiving a tip. It is madness. So here is how this is gonna go. We're gonna get iPads. We send Rudolph to the front door after the gifts are delivered with the iPad. Donner? Are you kidding me? That reindeer sounds like he's been smoking Marlboro Lights for 400 years. Keep him on the roof out of sight. He creeps everyone out. No, it has to be Rudolph. He's the only charismatic one in the bunch. Everyone loves him. It's the nose, whatever. We send Rudolph to the front door. He does his spiel, and then he presents the iPad with the tipping option. That little jingle horse is going to rake in more dough in 1 week than we've seen in centuries. So this is where you come in. I want you to go through this list, check it twice, and I want you to write down the names and addresses of all the people in here, and we will begin our plan of blackmail and extortion. Yes, nothing brings a smile to my lips more than the idea of inciting terror. Yeah. It's actually quite good reading. I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah, sometimes at night when I can't sleep, I just curl up in bed with a nice warm cup of cocoa and my favorite holiday spirit. No, not literal spirit. I mean bourbon. Keep up. And, I just read this for fun. There are some really absolutely hilarious little anecdotes in here. So we will send a letter out to these people with a list of all their infractions. And then, in a way that sounds more like a demand than a request, we'll mention the subscription plan. And we'll ensure that for the low price of $19.99 a month, this can all be erased and the slate can be wiped clean. And they can sleep at night with a clean conscience, knowing that their little stockings will be bursting at the seams and not with coal. I'm glad you're on board. In no time, this operation is going to be making money hand over fist. It's amazing. Your other job is that you need to keep Santa distracted and out of the tech department while I figure out this drone nightmare. I don't know, dangle a sugar cookie in front of his face. That's up to you to decide. I can't come up with all the ideas. Just keep him out of my hair for the time being. Can you manage that? Wonderful. See? We're such a good team, you and I, aren't we? So I will entrust you with this, my good sir. And would you be a dear and run along and tell Bernard that he's on reindeer stall cleanup duty again for the 12th month in a row? We changed their diet recently and things are a bit messier than usual. Like I said, I hold a grudge. All right, I'm glad we had this little talk. I'm feeling so much better. I hope you are as well. Wonderful. Happy holidays.